Riverside FM.
You want to start us off with the intro, then?
Goddamn right I do. What up? Book 2 is better. I'm Avery. This is Travis.
What's up, nerds?
Today, it's a multimedia affair. We got a little Wheel of Time Season 3, Amazon's second best show behind Reacher, and the end of Empire of Silence.
And the beginning of Core 33 Expedition JRPG.
FRPG, a French role-playing game.
It is French. It's way too French.
Yeah, it's a real shame your Steam Deck is running it at 4 FPS.
Merde, piton. Oh, let's go kill the monster.
Dude, it's so good. God, it's good. I'm really loving it.
Good. I can't tell if the colors while I'm playing are supposed to be like that, or if it's just because I'm playing on a 4-inch screen.
What are they like?
It like you walk through, you're walking, it goes from like blue to green, the entire world.
That has not been my experience on an actual console.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a Pinterest feature.
No, the rendering of the hair must be horrible on your screen.
Oh, it's so bad. It goes from black to white, depending on Yeah.
Apparently hair very hard to animate. I know that.
You have to figure out the settings.
Yeah, you'll get it going. But yeah, I've gotten very into the combat. It just turns, it's like Guitar Hero at some point. And I wasn't expecting to enjoy it that much, but like mastering all the parries and stuff is incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, I suck at those Dark Souls kind of combat games, but I'll figure it out. I'll smash some buttons.
Yeah, if I can figure it out, truly anyone can.
It's true.
Do you want to do a little bit of Wheel of Time before we jump into Hadrian's musings?
I would love to. I thoroughly enjoyed season 3, and then I got really depressed because I realized it's going to be like 2.5 years before we see, if we ever see another episode.
If ever, it's not.
It hasn't been renewed.
Yeah, I feel like they probably will if I had to bet. So I think it's a moderate success, and
it's a good show. It's cool.
It would be weird to end it when it's like finally people are on board. They just did a good season for the first time. Yeah. Travis has only read 2 of the books. I've read the whole thing, so I won't spoil anything through. Obviously, like we'll cover the whole season, and I won't spoil anything beyond book 4 of Wheel of Time if you're concerned. So
I'm not concerned.
So there you go, Travis. I might spoil some things for you, and
that's fine. I'm a watcher now, and I'm excited.
Shadow Rising. Yeah, you're show first.
Yeah, I'm show first guy.
Do you like this? Do you like the show better than the books?
Kind of right now. I think because I've been reading just so much fantasy, it's nice to not have to read something and see something new. Like most of the times when this happens, it's like I've read the books and so I'm going and watching the show now. Yeah. And so it's nice to just be along for the ride and be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. Why is there a character from the movie Cats 2019?
Screaming.
Why was he just screaming?
It was so jarring.
Yeah.
I was also a little drunk last night watching that. I got home from the bar and I'd left the last 30 minutes of episodes 8 or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is not the vibe I was ready for.
God, that was so funny watching that with Kathy and her looking at me like, what the fuck is this? Is this in the books? I guess, so but strange. It's not exactly how I imagined them.
He's like, what are your wishes? I'm going to murder you.
I'm Rum Tum Tugger.
Yeah, so I have no clue who that guy is. That's one of my big questions.
Yeah, that stuff's fun, beloved from the books. I don't know, it all plays out in a different way, but, same gist. What I do like about the show, it's nice seeing fantasy as fantasy on TV.
Yeah.
It's magical. It's surreal. For as good as like peak Game of Thrones was, it wasn't so different from like historical fiction. Right. Magic was so in the background, but it's cool seeing like a sort of high budget, well done thing that really feels like the stuff we like.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think so many times the depiction of magic in these fantasy shows is like a big fireball or like a magic like missile type thing. Yeah. And that's the extent of it for the most part. Or it's like a curse or something like that. And so it's cool to see the way that they use the weavings and especially episode 6 the one that was just like the best one.
Episode 4 with
Four,
Ruocchio.
yeah, Rudian. That
Yeah.
was one of the coolest episodes of any TV show I've seen.
Yeah, that was such a bombshell. I have no clue how that hits people who haven't read the books because that's a lot of information to put together. But at least like on a visual level, it's pretty compelling.
I think the visual, because they did such a good job visually, as
Yeah,
somebody like me who I didn't know it was coming or I don't know anything about it. It's like,
yeah,
it makes it okay to absorb. They're living these
yeah.
1,000 lifetimes forward and backwards.
And there are a couple of things about that I actually preferred in the show versus the book. So if you recall, there's another Aiel who is in Ruidian at the same time, and he's sort of bugging out and he takes out his own eyes. And the way that plays out in the book, it's a little hard to suspend your disbelief because the trial isn't quite as grueling. Like he's going through these visions, but it doesn't seem as miserable as it does
Sure.
when you're watching it in the show. So when a guy starts gouging his eyes out, he's only doing it because the truth is too hard to bear that they used to be like pacifists and they're oath breakers. And I get it. It was built up, but there was a part of me that's like, really?
Yeah.
That's so bad? Like,
What
I don't know.
comes to mind with that comment, just to layer in another unrelated series to this discussion, yeah, is the cognitive realm in Wind and Truth. Like the whole section of that book that's like flashing between flashbacks, and it's really unsatisfying on paper I think because it doesn't feel dramatic, the change of scenery and stuff. But this one, it just felt so vivid and like visceral, and like the way that his footsteps are slow because it's like the weight of the memory. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. The one thing that's really great about that scene in the books is just, obviously it's written backwards and he does such a good job of like having one thread connecting the scenes, and it'll just be like a name or a passing reference to someone's like description. And if you're reading it close, you'll pause and, oh, fuck, that's like the grandfather, the guy from the last scene. Like, it's very satisfying, like putting it all together. And on a reread, it comes a lot easier, and it's kind of incredible. Like it's
really good storytelling.
It was like when Jeremy Lin was scoring 35 points a game for a little bit. It's like you might not do this again, but you were cooking for a couple chapters.
Have you watched Jeff Teague podcast highlights?
No.
I'm gonna send you that. This is the rabbit hole I've been in. He is the funniest guy of all time.
Really?
He's hilarious, but somehow he's like that. He's this guy who's been at every pivotal NBA moment, like every famous shot or fight that you remember. Jeff Teague is just standing in the corner.
That's incredible.
That's like a bit player.
I guess he's a good player. Like he was in the league as long as he wanted to be.
He was good, but he was like, never great. And that's so. I'll send it to you, but it's amazing. He has a good Jeremy Lin story. He was like, we were watching Jay Lin and we're like, how the hell are these baskets going in? This man has God on his side.
We've been practicing with this guy. He's not that good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's so good. But yeah, as good as episode 4 was, episode 7 is all the things that are bad about fantasy on TV.
Yeah, what you really didn't like Perrin's Battle of Two Rivers, did you?
It's this like crappy feel good, unite the town. They're like learning how to hold spears. And 2 days in, they defeat an entire Trolloc army where 2 years earlier, one Trolloc killed the entire village. Like, it's really silly and sappy.
I think it was easier for me because that's such a big part of book 4 that I felt like I could mentally fill in the gaps. But that felt like the ultimate plot line that suffered because they're doing 8 episodes. And it ultimately is just not enough. Or if they could have just taken fucking a handful of scenes from Alana and her stupid warder.
That's
God, I want her to.
A good point.
Yeah. She's got to die, please. They're killing off a bunch of characters, and they're not killing off Alana, and I don't get it.
Yeah, it felt like they kept her just for the fight, but then also she was supposed to die, and then again was saved.
She's like not died 10 times.
Well, because I think you lose the power of like, oh, an Aes Sedai cannot heal themselves when they're just constantly getting spam healed by random people.
Hello, 10-year-olds. Would you like to learn how to do surgery on the fly?
When the 2 10-year-olds hold hands and burn that guy alive, that was
Did
cool.
you like that? The unceremonious. It is a little. I mean, obviously he's a bad dude, but that actor was so good. Eamon
He was great. Yeah,
he was really. It's sad he didn't get more time to shine, but
Yeah, I
I
feel like
mean,
it's one of those where a lot of his scenes probably got cut over the course of the season because he was
yeah.
great in the original seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it's just tough like to adapt that many books in. I think they're planning 8 seasons at most. Like you do just
right.
have to kill people off. Even yeah, I'm sure I've told you about this, but Sando pretty unceremoniously kills some people off when he gets a hold of the series, just because yeah, there were too many open cans of worms,
Right.
and it's almost funny the way that some people die because you could sort of see like, okay, I didn't find this as interesting as the other 40 plot lines.
Yeah,
We're gonna have someone die in battle, and moving on.
that's kind of how John Gwynn's last book feels sometimes
Really?
in the Valor
Yeah.
ones, but for another pod. But yeah, and then I'm pretty hyped for Rand. Rand is taking over his
Um,
desert army.
that actor did a good job. I
He was
wasn't
good.
certain that he could shoulder the what is probably going to be a pretty fucking big role if they do this, but he had some really nice moments.
I'm actually in your camp where like I was sick of him in the first kind of season and a half because
Yeah,
he was like this kind of whiny, sappy, romantic guy,
yeah.
like chasing around the women and stuff. And then he turns out he's a really good actor. And I think him and Moraine together are just so good.
They have a really good dynamic.
Yeah,
And
Moraine's my
like
favorite
the
character by far.
Moraine,
Yeah,
she's really good. Like I do sort of I mean this is a comment for All Aes Sedai in the show, but they're so much more stoic in the books and it gives them a little more gravitas.
right.
So I do sort of wish they were a little more Gandalfy. But it's TV, and I think that's a book reader comment because it seems like everyone I know who's watching the show loves Moraine and the job she's doing. So
Yeah.
no, I think she was a great choice.
I think the one, because I feel like the power leveling in the show was starting to make a lot of, like, you can see how powerful an Aes Sedai is, the warders, like, everybody was kind of slotting into a mental model for me.
Yeah,
And then the Forsaken have completely messed that up because they're both, like, very mortal and very immortal. And
yeah.
it doesn't feel like there's a lot of consistency. Like, I can't figure out how powerful they are. Like, on one hand, Rand just smoked a dude.
He did nuke a guy, yeah, which
And then on the other hand, there's like an evil spider lady that's like pulling people apart by the soul. I'm like, what the hell?
that was incredible.
That was so cool.
The spider guts in the last episode.
Oh my God. She's the
Yeah,
best. She's
could,
probably the
yeah.
best like character in the season. And then Moraine is my favorite actress.
Their casting with the Forsaken has been just consistently perfect. Even the Scottish guy who gets nuked after 2 scenes, I love that guy. I was
He
so
came in
sad.
charging.
That was incredible. Oh, with his like giant Thor's hammer too.
Yeah.
Not in the books at all. That was
It was all,
badass.
he just pops up through a hole as they're sleeping. He's like, "Sup, motherfuckers," and then just
Yeah.
immediately gets.
I'm gonna kill ya.
And that's why
There
I'm
we
like,
go.
as someone who didn't read the books, I'm like, okay, well, Forsaken aren't that cool if that dude is one of them. But
I would say if there's one thing that's book accurate, it's a lot of the Forsaken being grossly incompetent.
okay,
Like these
yeah,
Forsaken are actually kind of getting shit done. Having a Scottish guy who runs in and gets nuked is on par with the books. Like they're Forsaken who die really unceremoniously.
I guess
So,
it makes sense if you've been around for thousands of years, basically, and you haven't figured out how to like kill a villager.
you got to roll the dice. Come in with the hammer. Yeah, it does. I get it. I was going to say, like, it does seem like they could probably just organize and kill him, but the problem is they're all
They don't like
sickos.
each
They're
other.
not going to
Yeah.
organize.
Oh,
They want to be nameless. How do you think? Are you in on Leandrin physically?
no, physically, no, God,
No,
no. She's a walking cheekbone, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, maybe she had like a twin that she ate and stole her cheekbones in
Yeah,
the womb.
I will say, as much as I like some of the characters I mentioned, Nynaeve and Leandrin are two of the worst.
You don't like Nynaeve?
I am so sick of her. She's so annoying.
Well, I would like to introduce you to Book Nynaeve. If you find this one annoying, my
I mean, I
goodness.
remember not liking her in the books too.
Yeah, she's perpetually angry.
And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know how to channel. I'm scared."
Okay, well, you channel then.
I can't. I'm a man.
No, you can. Just go crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah,
But anyway,
Ranston. I like the start of the madness. I feel like
yeah.
that's going to be quite compelling.
Oh yeah, when he's just like zoning out, causing earthquakes. Like, oh,
Yeah, because there's so many good bits in the books where Rand is thinking, and then you sort of shift perspectives to another character. And my boy was not thinking. My boy was talking out loud to himself.
No, they're just watching him
Yeah.
like, yo, this guy's gonna kill us all. Oh God.
Yeah, there's some like really good use of perspective with Rand's madness. So,
Nice.
very excited. Yes. So fingers crossed for more because they're cooking.
Yeah, I give it high eights, season three.
I think the same. I wouldn't have thought they had it in them, but yeah, at this point I would like totally recommend it.
Excellent.
If you like fantasy, it's a good one.
Well, would you recommend part three of Sun Eater?
If you like
Book
torture, I'd recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty gruesome.
Goes out with a bang of sorts.
Yeah, a bang and a whimper.
Yeah. Well, listen. Do we should we well, I think we should save our thoughts on the ending till later, right?
Yeah, well, we got to actually talk about it first.
Do you want to
But well, okay, let me preface because I feel like
Yeah.
we're going to get into a bit of a stretch where we make fun of this part of the book. I
Wrong.
like this book overall. I'm excited
Yes.
to read book two. I think this book covered a shit ton of ground for like a debut of a series.
Yeah.
And there were many moments where I thought he would spend 200 pages on like the Colosseum or something. And we're like,
Yeah.
we're where I thought we would be in book three right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I feel like the tone of the conversation will probably be that we have mixed feelings about the ending, but are quite excited for the future of the series. That was definitely my response. Like the moment I finished this, I ordered books 2 and 3. It's like, these plot beats weren't my favorite, but stage is set for a lot of interesting stuff. So
I'm number one on the holds list for the Brooklyn Library for book two.
go buy it.
Who else is reading it? I mean, what are you guys doing? There are 3
I don't
copies out right now. I'm like,
Maybe
who's
we
reading
have
book 2 of this series?
3 listeners who are trying to get ahead of us.
You bastards.
Yeah, come on, let us do our show.
No.
Is it summary time? You want me to play the Daft Punk?
Yeah.
Okay. Beep.
Of all the novels our wonderful author Chris has read, and he'll tell you about every single one of them, he must have really hated the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hadrian fulfills his blood feud and notches the first kill by taking out our hero, Sir Gilliam. Of course, this goes over horribly, and it turns out everyone kind of hates him now. Also, his parents disowned him. Surprise! His kind jailer, Count Mataro, I think that's his name, gives him an out. Marry his hot daughter and take over the planet. It's a pretty good deal. Hadrian, of course, says, I'm no Nepo baby, motherfucker, and starts hatching a plan to get off the planet. He follows his crush to the alien dig site on Kalach, and it turns out that the relics left behind by the Quiet are in fact quite loud. They force him into a solid acid trip where he sees the future and that it must be. Before he can figure out what the hell is going on, a Cielson ship crash lands in the middle of their village. Time for war. Hadrian somehow convinces the military that an unarmed teenager is going to be a huge help and tags along on the mission to kill the remaining Cielson. We're introduced to a badass alien samurai from the Jadian Empire because the author definitely loves anime. After trapping the Cielson in the tunnels of the Quiet relics, Hadrian puts on his translator hat and convinces the leader of the Cielson that he is friends and not food. After promising they won't be tortured, the Cielson surrender for the first time ever and are handed over to the Chantry. Turns out Hadrian doesn't know what he's talking about, and the rest of the book is absolutely fantastic if you're a fan of graphic torture. Hadrian is forced to sit through all of it, which definitely won't mess him up later on. He hatches a plan to mercy kill the captured Cielson captain using Dr. Andera's magic mind computer. Turns out she's totally a witch. And after that somehow works out, he is handed a ship full of his friends and lovers to go explore the galaxy and find the Cielson home planet. Book 1 ends with us fully confident that Hadrian will keep making absolutely terrible decisions, but that's going to be a wild ride from here.
Clap, 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 clap. Well done. You're finding your stride as a summarizer.
It's kind of fun, you know? And it's also
It's
a good
good.
way to remember what the hell happened.
Yeah, my memories of this one are quite foggy because I didn't do the summary and I was about on 1.8x audiobook trying to get through the reread. Well, listen, financial independence, a beautiful wife who loves you. Not for Hadrian, not interested. No,
He
thank
wants
you.
bigger and better.
He describes that as a golden cave.
It's kind of an unbelievable deal. Like, he gets an upgrade by murdering someone.
Insane.
And also finds out he no longer has any bargaining power whatsoever. He has no noble status at this point.
Can you imagine if Luigi Mangione was just given, like, would you like to have $1 billion estate and become governor and have a beautiful wife and kids?
He's like, no, I'm going to kill more insurance executives.
He might.
He totally might. But that's basically the deal that he says no to here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be a stud, unlike most guys.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty wild start to the whole thing. It's actually not where I thought it would go. I thought he would get like immediately exiled.
Did you think there should have been more consequences for killing a member of the Chantry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if anything, this entire section is like the Chantry is both full of horrible people, but also
Yeah.
like kind of all bark and no bite because
Yeah, it's
every time they
weird.
really want something to happen, they get overruled and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and it's weird how like present Gilliam Vaz's mom is and how little she does about the fact that he killed her son. I know it's legal and sanctioned, but like everything we've heard about the Chantry was like
Right.
they're not going to care. But you
It
know,
was
if they
weird.
ship you off to a different part of the planet and just wait out the storm, it's okay.
Also, the his exile to the place where he's chasing his girlfriend is also I had to like laugh a little at that because there's literally a scene where the Count is like, "You need to get over this woman. She drove you to kill." And he's like, "Can I go hang out with her?" And
What
they're
if I
yeah,
went
go for it.
what if we studied abroad together though?
It's
Have you
literally
considered
they're
that?
going on an archaeology major's junior year trip.
Yeah. That's well, he is that age.
He is that age.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, the dig site is a pretty chill exile. He just drinks wine with a really cool retired knight, and
that guy is fantastic.
yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good
Yeah,
character.
he's a great guy. Yeah, very chill, knows some stuff, always brings good wine, not getting in anyone's way.
No,
What did you think about the ruins of the Quiet? How'd you like
they're
that?
they're really cool.
Yeah.
He definitely has, I don't know, some sort of like blood related key to unlocking these things. I don't know if we're gonna
Is
find
that
out
what
three
you're?
books from now. Like his genetic code is like that of a ancient alien or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I truly have no idea
I don't know where it's gonna go.
where that's going, how it's possible. I think like we talked about this last episode. Like, is there magic in this world? Are there gods? Like, I don't know, or is it
See,
just some weird scientific thing that we're going to get that um, will explain it all?
I think it's more
Is
on the magic
Hadrian?
side, if I had to guess, because he's the only one that when he touches the stone, it's like
Yeah,
cold for him to a painful degree.
yeah.
It moves, the stone moves for him to create secret passageways. He has a full-blown psychedelic episode.
If I'm trying to make predictions, I'm going to reach into the bag of fantasy tropes and go
Mhm.
with his parents are not his parents. What do you think about that?
I was actually going to go a different route, but similar, which is that they kind of teased how important his mom's family lineage is, like
Hmm.
that they're loosely connected to the emperor or something
Yeah.
like that. And I think that there needs to be some sort of like noble blood. And he has this like very special noble line that only a
Okay.
few people have. That's going to be my prediction.
I like,
But
yeah,
we're
I
on
feel like
similar
these are,
tracks.
yeah, these like versions of the same thing. And I was also wondering about like way back at the start when he gets on his escape ship and that homunculus is like, oh, we're both vat babies. I wonder if that is going to end up meaning something different. Like not your Palatine, but like he's something else entirely.
Oh, I just had an interesting prediction to throw in the hat too. So while he's gone for 35 years and doesn't remember
Hmm.
anything, I wonder if they took him to like the extra Solarian trading post and
Yeah.
he had an encounter with the Cielson before the ship came
Interesting. Like
back.
they did something to him while he was in Fugue.
Or they like tried to sell him to the extra Solarians or something. And then
Okay.
like, I don't know. I'm curious because I
Do you know
still,
what the
there's that whole
extra?
dark
I feel
period
like you
there.
now know what the extra Solarians are.
No, I just know
Oh,
that they have a trading post somewhere and that they're going to go
yeah.
investigate it at the end of the
They're
book.
they're like renegade humans. They live between the stars, like outside the control of the Empire. We know that now, so we can get that
You,
up. But which
you
is quite
making fun of me
intriguing.
because I don't know what any of the aliens were called
Well,
3
you've
episodes
called
ago.
everything an extra Solarian.
Well, they
Plants,
technically
animals.
are.
Yeah.
They're in the solar system.
I mean, I can't say you're wrong.
Yeah, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a
It's an
turtle.
extra. It's an extra Solarian.
Mhm.
Okay, so his actual vision, he
Yep.
touches the cold rock and he sees a version of himself with green eyes. Does that have any? Are we connecting any dots there?
I didn't close read this as much as you. I didn't notice that part.
I read this right before the call because I didn't
Nice.
remember what it was. And then there's like he sees an army of Sealson in the sky, and there's like an especially scary one with black and silver armor, and then a big ship filled with statues crashing into a sun, which feels like we know what that one is.
Right. And it
So
feels predictive as opposed to like a trip through memory lane because a voice speaks into his head. It must be.
it must be.
Yeah, which is kind of
Well,
freaky.
it is a little freaky. Inserting a little prophecy in here, and I'm in.
I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Oh,
Do you?
no.
I mean, I don't, but I'm really open to anything at this point.
I was watching a clip from, those like ghost hunter, old crappy like Discovery Channel TV
Oh
shows.
yeah.
There was a Scottish one. The host is like interviewing a lady while they're in the haunted house. He's like, "Oh, excuse me. I need to step away for a moment. Like, not to be crude, but it felt like something just went up my asshole."
Me arse.
It's like, oh my God, I gotta watch this.
Dude, Scottish ghosts got to be cool as hell.
Yeah, you notice I didn't try the Scottish accent. That was purposeful.
I can't believe I've done it 3 times in 2 episodes. It's not even an accent I have in the bag.
No, it's rough.
We got to get.
Oh, God.
Actually, I don't think I have any accents in the bag.
Yeah, but so after his vision, this irked you. His girlfriend is so mean.
Why is she so mean?
You would think
If
that she would be the one who's like, oh, you could have a weird out of body encounter at this crazy alien relic we don't understand.
if someone told me that, like, of course I wouldn't believe them, but I would at least hear them out and and then behind the scenes try to make sure that they're okay.
Right.
Her response is like, "You Palatine motherfucker, you think you're so hot? Why are you lying to me?" Which she knows him pretty well at this point. Like, it just didn't track to me. It didn't feel like the way that she should have responded given their history.
I did think she would have warmed up to him a bit by this point, but I guess chronologically he did just like murder someone to protect her when she didn't ask for it. So
Yeah, but they've been cracking wine together for a little while.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
she's
know
so
if I
mean.
Yeah.
He disappears for like 6 hours in a rock.
Yeah, he thought he was gone for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
He was on a whole journey.
I do.
Well,
Did you ever watch Master and Commander?
no, your
The best
favorite.
movie of all time with Russell Crowe. I one of the guys we were golfing with yesterday is in the film business, and I was like, tell me what's happening to Master Commander 2. And there's rumors they might be on track. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, unrealized potential. They boldly named that movie as if it were part of a series
Well, it is part of a series. It's an amazing series of 26 books.
and one movie.
Yes. We'll do that. We'll do that series next. But
Yeah.
there's a great scene in it where like the hobbled ship captain and his somewhat homunculus assistant are on the Galapagos Islands trying to catch lizards and stuff.
Tortugas.
And on the Tortugas. And it very much reminds me of this like relic squad from the book.
Yeah. Okay, where do we go from here? I don't know if we.
The Jadians, maybe? Or
Yeah, the
Cielson?
Jadian contingent shows up before the Cielson crash, right?
Yeah,
So
and
they're
they
kinda
are
cool.
rumored to be like awesome warriors who don't actually belong to the Empire. They're like kind of a separate state.
deal. Even taller than the Palatines. At this
Yes.
point, talk about power scaling. We got to keep that height below like 7'5", or I'm going to start not believing in it.
It gets weird that when everyone is between 7 and 9 feet, it's just not that cool.
Everyone is. How are they going to do the movie? They
Right.
have Victor Wembanyama playing every role like it's the Nutty Professor.
Or who was the guy who was in John Wick 4, the basketball player?
I've only seen John Wick 1.
Okay.
Detlef
But he-
Schrempf.
He's like 7'6", and it's really
That's
funny to
sick.
watch him punch.
Oh, wait, is it that guy who used to play for the Mavericks? The big-ass Eastern European guy?
ass dude.
Yeah, that guy's fantastic.
He's
God,
great.
He seems like such a good vibe.
He's so good. But yeah, they're like 8 feet tall and only dressed in what can be described as like samurai champloo
Yes.
wear, which is like 3 swords at their waist with open kimonos and sandals.
You know who they reminded me of were like the mythic warriors from John Gwynland.
Oh, the Kadoshim, or
No.
the good version of that word.
The Jahar.
Jahar, that's it. Yeah.
They reminded me of the Jahar. It
Yeah.
could just be the letter J, but yeah, a fabled warrior society.
It all comes back to like male teenage obsession with Japanese culture because everyone
Yeah.
is written as a samurai in all of these books.
We need to do some Googling to actually figure out if Ruocchio loves anime. You seem
He has
confident.
to. I seem pretty confident, yeah.
Yeah, I think he is just huffing the Iliad and anime.
Yeah, he writes like Nipponese, like that phrase 8 times in the first book.
Spoiler for book 2. More Nipponese fashion to come. I promise you that.
Yeah.
You just don't like that word? Is that what it is?
I hate that
Nipponese.
word.
Okay.
It's
My
it's in my list of like pet peeve words where you're changing something that doesn't need to be changed for your world building. Like instead of like altitude, he calls it attitude jets
oh,
in this book.
I didn't catch that.
I wrote it down, so he does it
My
twice.
my word that obviously the Wong Hopper Consortium is perfect. Just the word xenobite is so strange to
Yeah,
me. What a weird suffix.
yeah.
Is that like a is bite a suffix that means something in our world?
Wasn't there like an old kind of like Goosebumps era set of novels that was like the Xenobites or something like that?
I Googled it and the only stuff that came up was Ruocchio stuff.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't allowed to read Goosebumps. R.L. Stein was banned in our household. Too scary.
It is scary. Like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Genuinely scary.
Um,
Okay, Jadians.
they show up.
And then talk about a swerve you couldn't have predicted. Crash
Truly.
landing, folks.
Okay.
His description of the space battle, like while he's standing on the ground, I thought was really, really cool.
I
The like
agree.
very silent, like explosions in the sky.
That was something I highlighted as actually like quite good writing, in my opinion. Yeah, here it is. It's the poets romanticize space combat. Holograph operas depict them as things of sound and fury. Even from within a battle, it is not so, but from the outside, they are only light and silence, save when the heavens come crashing down.
Yeah. See,
Sounds
that's
good.
good, Hadrian. That's good,
That's good,
Hadrian.
Hadrian.
Let him
Yeah.
cook. Yeah. No. I mean, on net, he probably has more hits than misses, right?
I'll give him credit. He puts it out there.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about the style and we've had some collective eye rolls, but I think where I do land is I'm happy he's taken a cut because he could have just written this normally and it still would have been a good book, but
Right.
I'm happy to see someone trying something. It's not going to be for everyone, but
Yep. It's an incredibly quotable book for better or worse.
yeah, and ambitious, my God.
Yeah.
So
And speaking of ambition, yeah, what I thought would take several books to happen, the Sealson just get thrown on their doorstep.
yeah, we got contact, baby.
Crazy.
Yeah, so they crash land. Obviously, it's a big freak out. And Hadrian convinces like a contingent of the Jadians and some of the military from the Empire to go track down anyone who might have survived. And there's an incredible moment where he's like, no, I saw blue lights. There must have been escape pods. And then someone who actually has experience is like, what the fuck? Escape pods aren't a thing. It's just like a reminder that Hadrian's only experience is from books. He's like, I don't know. I saw something. They got to be out there.
He doubles down on that at the end. I'm excited when we get to that section where he's only referencing like children's stories to make political suggestions.
That
Like,
was
who
the
fuck
best.
are you?
He's like in the Bay of Pigs. He's like, do you know what Randall Thor did? Maybe we could use that.
But yeah, they
Yes,
go along with it for some dumb reason. They're like, okay, teenager, come hang out with us and chase the mean aliens.
yeah, that was the like kind of one of the few moments in this story where it verged into Court of Thorns and Roses. Why is a teenager involved in serious global affairs,
Yeah.
universe-wide affairs? But I don't know. I'm rolling with it. Who cares?
Well, I think the one on reflection, even though he's been disowned, I don't think many people know that. And also, he is pledged to be like the new ruler of the planet once he gets married in a couple of
Do
years.
people know that?
I don't think they do, but at one point in this scene, I think he like says it. He's like, I'm going to be the
Yeah.
count of this planet. And they're like, oh shit, okay.
It struck me more as like what we were talking about, like if you just put on a high vis vest and demand entry into MSG, they'll let you in.
And
That
there's a
seems like his
crisis
strategy for everything. It's just
Yeah.
like sheer dumb confidence.
And they're like, well, there's too much going on. I can't say no to you.
You know
Just
what?
whatever.
It's easier for me to let you be here than to kick you out. But there were several moments where he probably should have been stun gunned, taken away.
For sure. And it somehow kind of works out though. I mean, they trap them
Yeah.
in a tunnel. He like stun gun tortures a Cielson, which is
Yeah.
a weird turn.
Pretty sick fight scene in the dark, by the way.
Yep.
They have creepy drill snake weapons.
That like burrow into your neck and like
Yeah,
kill you.
didn't love that.
Real freaky.
And we finally got to see a high matter sword. This is my inner teenage boy. Those things are sick.
Yeah. The Jadian warrior, I forget his name. It's something cool.
Yeah.
like Osiris or something
The guy who
awesome.
gives him the sword at the end.
Hmm. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just seems so, he like effortlessly steps to the side and high matter
Yes.
swords this alien to death. It's just like so cool.
Yeah, and I love just like the sci-fi version of the shard blade with like the
Hmm.
hydrogen thin blade. That's
Yeah.
incredibly cool.
And his sandals with he like never takes his other arm out of his robe. It's fucking badass.
God, that's badass. Yeah, reminds me of Reacher.
Yeah, best series on Amazon Prime. And yeah, Hadrian he's a little translator boy. There's like
Yep.
a dozen traps that he. Okay, I'll give him some credit. He's like brave boy, you know.
Yeah.
He says the line earlier on where he's like, "I will always be proud of myself for like speaking up and taking action when the shit hit the fan, as
Yeah.
opposed to like any of the other things I could have done." I'm like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he's
So
confident.
ultimately, he persuades them to take these people captive and try to pry information out of them. We were
Yeah,
talking before the episode about how he convinced people to do that. And it seems like a hard task, but he got it done. Because I guess the history of the war is that they pretty much just kill on sight. There's not a lot of summits where people are discussing how to end the war.
it's kind of wild that nobody's had a conversation in 300 years.
300 years, you think there would have been some sort of attempts at peace talks?
But I was kind of okay. So I was thinking, like, how would they be okay with this plan? And I'm kind of thinking, like, all right, you're an average soldier,
Hmm.
and there's a 9 foot tall, six jointed, spindly alien that's
Freaky
trapped in a
boy.
dark corner.
Yeah,
And if you have the option not to try to fight it, I would go with that option.
I'm in. Hey, we should talk to him.
This guy's like, yo, I can get them to come peacefully. I'm like,
Yeah.
sure, you go
Don't get me
test
wrong.
it
I could
out.
I could kick this giant Kevin Durant guy's ass. But if you do just want to talk, I'm interested.
I would like to go home for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
um,
Let me take us back to a comment I made because I'm always making good points here. Start of the book, Hadrian is supposed to get sent to the Chantry. And I think we said something to the effect of, how bad is that really? Why is he so desperate to not be? Now that we've seen the Chantry, I think it makes a whole lot more sense why Hadrian is not interested in being part of the ranks.
it definitely does. They're not good people. And it's
Yeah.
also what I found funny is that there's multiple times in this book where somebody from the Chantry tells him, man, you'd be really good in the Chantry.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of just an interesting note, but
I kind of think he would be good in the Chantry.
he would. He's just a maneuverer wherever you
Yes.
drop him.
Again, sheer force of will. That
Yeah.
would be useful for a theocratic, I don't know,
To be
conquering
fair, he
force.
does. His first instinct when there's an injured Cielson was to torture it.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Like,
I guess it's just going to be one of those things where, like, he's going to be at war with himself and wants to
right.
think of himself as a kind-hearted person who wants to negotiate. And obviously, his history does not play out that way. So
Right. And it does tell you, like, I'm not a good person. All
I
in
blew
all.
up a star.
Yeah.
So
But we get some poorly written, in my opinion, political arguments about what to do with the captured Cielson. The Chantry
Yeah.
swings their dick around if they have those, and basically just tortures the shit out of the captain that he had convinced was not going to get tortured.
really tough.
Just brutal scenes to read.
Obviously not particularly enjoyable to read, but I mean, I guess he got his point across. Like,
Yeah, Chantry bad.
Chantry bad.
Bad
And,
at their
like, such
job and bad people.
And Hadrian in such a brutal spot, like having, he's complicit in it. Like, whether he wants to admit that or not, the truth is he didn't have to participate,
Right.
and he chose to. Like, there would have been obviously consequences. Maybe he dies, but he said yes. Like, he participated in the torture.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's tough. Tough for old Had.
It's pretty brutal. But, to his credit, he tries to make it right.
With the help of Neuralink.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what the fuck?
You're not liking a science witch?
I kind of love it. So one thing I wrote down and forgot to say last episode is another prediction. These aren't just power outages, which isn't really a hot take. They slammed that over the head with foreshadowing, but
Yeah.
turns out the power outages that have been happening at the palace are her neural network computer chip in
Yeah.
her brain.
She's got a little mental off switch.
Yeah, and she can like hack the system, whatever that means.
Pretty sick set of abilities.
It's really cool and very convenient in a world that is constantly being monitored by cameras that she can just turn them off so Hadrian can have a private
Yeah.
conversation with the aliens.
Yeah, it's been like a persistent issue since like
Yeah,
page one is that he can never
right.
have a private conversation. So
Yeah.
finally,
And
finally
he,
they can kiss in peace.
mwah. But he both kind of succeeds in his plan to be able to mercy kill the Cielson captain, and thus make things right in some form or fashion. But he also gets a lot of info before the
Yeah,
captain dies.
he does. So his ultimate goal, right, is to push these negotiations further and maybe try to make contact and like end the war.
He wants to go sign a treaty with the Cielson and somehow be the person make like it's a wild take. A
It's a
lot of
big swing,
confidence.
a big swing for sure.
It's a 300-year-old intergalactic war.
Yeah. And we do get some information about why the Cielson are there. It's a sort of religious pilgrimage. Like, this wasn't an invasion force by any means. Like, they didn't know people were there. So they have, like, the quiet or of some religious significance to the Cielson.
Right.
And we learned that they're quiet ruins on whatever the Cielson's home world is. So, yes, looking forward to learning more about that.
Yeah, I mean, we really kind of opened up the whole thing. There's like a Cielson prince who's okay. Can we break down this guy like Tanaran? He's one of the Cielson, and they're like he has a piece of the prince in him.
Yeah,
but I was a little unclear on what that
he
meant.
said, I'm his, which is,
Right.
I mean, they talk a little bit about what that means. Like, we know he's of some elevated position and is not a concubine. And there was some harping on the fact that this prince is like the first person that they've really gendered.
Yep.
Other than that, like everyone just goes by it in translation. So I don't know where that's going, but
Yeah. No, he says a quote. It's like, I carry a piece of him, his authority. So whatever it is going to be interesting.
yeah. So Tanaran is the most elevated of all these Cielson. So we'll see where that goes. Operation Mercy Kill works out like most Hadrian plans, where he gets what he wants, but completely not in the way that he wants it.
He leaves a mess behind.
Yeah, a mess of lead, as it turns out. What did you think of the molten hot mace that flings drops of lead?
I mean, it sounds horrible.
That sounds really fucked up. They have a vent, though, like it's a stove in the room.
They do awful things to this alien.
Yeah.
The
It
scene
goes
where
from
they're like, oh, let's stop focusing on the arm, let's focus on the genitals, and I'm like, oh God, like
yeah,
let it
and they just
stop.
like where they like rip off another finger. It's like he answered too quickly. It's like, oh my God. Jesus, guys.
Oh, it's brutal.
I'm out on the Chantry, I think.
Definitely out on the Chantry.
In on Gilliam Vaz, out on Chantry. That's my final position.
Oh my God. But after the mercy killing, for me, this is the worst part of the whole book. It's like 50 pages of just silly political arguing about like what to
Yeah.
do next, and it's back to your point, like why is this teenager in the room?
Yeah. It's, yeah, so I'm going to mess this name up. I think it's Rain Smythe is the one who ultimately conscripts him. And if I'm not mistaken, she got a classic Hadrian shout out as person of significance.
Yes. A few
yeah,
people
that's
did
how he
in this
gets
section. Yeah.
That's how he gets out of his miserable life where he has to live with infinite money and a beautiful person who loves him. Gets conscripted by Smythe.
Yeah.
And they're going to pose as no, not merchants. They're going to pose as
Mercenaries.
humble traders. No, mercenaries. And they're going to go on a covert mission to try to find the lost planet of Vorgassos.
Yeah, and he gets to assemble a ship full of all his old Colosso friends and his
Squad's all here.
wannabe lover, which is just a perfect space cowboy extravagance.
I like to think that's what you would do if you got to be a space cowboy.
Yeah. She's like, the homies are saddling up.
Who would you like to bring? Avery, of course.
Yeah, duh. Pick you up on the way.
Yeah, I have so much to offer to this mercenary expedition.
Yeah, just like the like one-armed single mother like fighter.
Trust me, she's great. You're gonna want her around.
It is a motley crew, but also they have like the proper Legion lieutenant with them.
Yeah.
Who's very curt.
That did slow Hadrian's roll a little bit. That he doesn't get to completely do whatever the fuck he wants. He has to have an adult around.
Thank God. I'm so glad they threw that little bit in, that he doesn't just get to take a ship wherever he wants by himself.
He would get everyone killed immediately.
There needs to be an adult on board.
Yeah. And I mean, that's basically where we leave it, right?
That's
like,
it.
The crew is assembled. they got their ship. I mean, it was sort of nice to go back
Yeah.
to the crew and be like, hey, I actually did get the ship, guys. You didn't believe me.
Hmm.
We didn't believe him.
No. I mean, this is where I thought the story would go, just by a very different route. Like I thought,
Yeah, your prediction was that they steal a ship and go be
and
space cowboys.
so he just stole it, but through good politicking.
Yeah, through aggressive politicking,
Yeah, aggressive.
stubbornness.
Lucky.
Yeah, so I think that takes us to the end. Do we want to zoom out and talk about our thoughts on the book generally?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe thoughts and some final predictions.
I give it 3 stars.
You have five big bangs.
5 big bangs. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Like, I
Yeah.
think this, for me, I'm happy it's a little different than the Red Rising series. So I don't feel like I'm reading the same kind of like,
No, yeah, it must feel like a different kind of space Rome
that's
than
what I
Red
say. Like,
Rising
it
at this
feels a
point.
little bit more original than some other series
Yeah,
out there. And yeah, I'm enjoying the fact that he's swinging for the fences.
yeah. It is a book that I would say, like, there are series where I think you're okay to, like, Mistborn, I think, is a good book where you can read it, you'll probably like it, and if you do want to stop there, I think that's okay. I do not think that's the case with this book.
No, we got to be
Like,
in or out.
yeah, I just would not recommend this book if you don't feel like you can push through 2 or 3. Like, I don't know if that'll change after
Yeah.
book 2, where it's like, okay, you get the taste, but here it felt like a 550-page prologue.
I also would
It
not
was like a
recommend
prequel.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the world building. But I also wouldn't recommend this to somebody who is a novice fantasy reader.
Yeah.
You need to be locked into enjoying this kind of stuff to want to go through this series.
Yeah. I was saying, like, in the not cliche version of this word, it feels like the beginning of an epic.
Hmm.
Like a true galaxy spanning story of unbelievable consequence. And that's a hard thing to pull off. Like, it does feel like the stakes are high, and I'm ready for it to just keep rolling for 7 books.
And to his point, like I mean, he put it on the table that like if you're going to publish this book, you're going to publish 6 more of these fuckers because he is dropping in the biggest hints of major plots to come in a way
Yeah.
that like I haven't seen in other series.
To do any justice to someone blowing up a star and killing billions of people, like, you gotta put in more than 3 books, I think.
Right. Right. You got to set the scene a little bit more here. But no, I'm excited for book 2. I don't think it's going to go anywhere in the direction that I think it's going to go. So that's exciting. All my predictions have been both right and wrong in different ways.
Yeah, all I'll say is I stopped reading the middle of chapter 1 of book 2 and Googled to confirm I was reading the right book.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I read it. I was like, did I just start book 4 and get massively spoiled? So it's a very interesting start to book 2, like straight out of the gate. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to discuss. I think we have a handshake deal to continue.
We're going to continue.
On Sun Eater. So
Yep. We're going to keep it
it'd be
going. I think in between book 1 and book 2, we're going to go and give y'all a little bit of a fun break for a book, a different series, a different type of novel. So that's exciting.
that is likely.
We've already done it.
We've already done it, and I think we're going to put it out second because my mic was broken on the first episode, and yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But it's good. We read a long multi-part book. We put out a fun little book.
Fun
It's
little
going to be a
book.
good
We reviewed the Dan to Dan manga.
vibe. And why we can't watch that show in front of our significant others.
Why I can't watch it with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, any parting thoughts on old Ruocchio, our classicist?
I mean, if I could like roll credits right now, it would just be like all of the worst literary references that he threw in this book. I think it would be
It
fun
should
to see
be-
them all lined up.
It should be annotated.
Yeah.
What do you think about? He always says, like, as the poet said, and it's like, dude, just say it's Shakespeare or someone.
No, it's actually I get more mad when he goes like the third level of that, which is like, as a famous English author once said, and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Say who it is. Say it's
Like-
Dan Brown.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of when these like 2,000 years in the future space things can only think of like modern classicists to refer to.
As the novelist said in classical English, John Grisham, I love feet. That would be so sick to do a sci-fi thing, but with the Hadrian character, but all he reads is crap.
I mean, that's basically Carl the Dungeon Crawler It's just referencing like Reddit posts.
Yeah, and Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
And goddamn, does that work?
It's so good. I saw that the next book is coming out in like 4 months because of course it is.
Is there like do we know when that ends? How many books is going to be?
He said, I think like no more than 10, maybe.
And this will be 8?
Yeah.
Too many? Question mark. I don't know. People still like
I don't
them.
know. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
different.
What do you want less donut? Wrong.
Well, the only problem is I read them all on my Kindle, and so now my Kindle recommendations are for lit RPG, which is apparently the
That is in fact a genre. Yeah.
the genre, and it's pretty brutal to see what the other ones are in the universe of that.
Yeah. That is like when you get past the normal anime recommendations, and it's like
Yeah.
my cute 4-year-old girlfriend who is also a level 87 witch. Just like, is this a real show?
What was the one when you came over and you were staying in my apartment? It was like I was reincarnated as a slime. And
It's like I spent 10,000 years killing slimes and maxed out my level. That was one of the least enjoyable TV experiences I've had, right?
we couldn't ironically get through a 20-minute episode.
I don't know if I liked it more or less than the one episode of Young Sheldon I watched.
Oh, brutal.
Neither brought me much joy.
No sparking of joy,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, all around good.
Yeah. And we'll be back in the not too distant future with more Ruocchio and more
I think
Rome.
by the time we get to like book 3 of Sun Eater, we might do a in-person recording episode, which would be kind of fun.
That is great. We have a visit on the books. So, yeah.
You know
Maybe
what? I'll see if we can get the
my mic.
studio. I'll see if we can get the What the Fuck Do You Do studio.
Nice. Should we go to do a live taping, Radio City? We could sell
4
several
tickets.
seats. How many people do we know in New York? Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, with that, do you want to say a Hadrianism to get us out of here? Do you want to speak on the nature of time?
Yeah. As the poets say, this episode is over, but the show goes on.
As the poets say, XOXO, Gossip Girl.